Hello, hello, high level listeners. Welcome to our latest English phrasal verb video, all about your friends and your friendships. Now, in English, phrasal verbs are really common, and these are expressions where we add an extra word or two to a verb. And honestly, it usually changes the meaning completely of the original verb. This is why they get kind of confusing when you're learning vocabulary. You think, oh, I know that verb, but now we've added an extra word to it and it's changed completely. So English speakers love using phrasal verbs to sound more casual, and it usually makes a situation a bit softer to lighten the topic, and it's, again, very casual. Since friends is a very common casual topic, this would make sense that we would use lots of phrasal verbs when talking about our friends.
Yes, definitely true. So if you've ever heard native speakers talking about hitting it off with friends, opening up to friends, or making up with friends, and if you've ever struggled to understand those phrases, don't worry. We're here to help you understand phrasal verbs better than ever before.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Today, we're going to share 11 very commonly spoken English phrasal verbs talking about friendships. And we're going to give you some example sentences so you can feel confident using that new vocabulary right away. Like always in these videos, we'll explain each phrasal verb very simply, giving you a clear definition and sometimes a few grammar rules. Then we'll give you 4 example sentences for each one to help you understand how it's used in sentences. So let's get started with our first phrasal verb. To hang out with someone. To hang out with someone. Now, you might know the word hang. Hang is to hold onto something, like a monkey. But to hang out with someone means to spend time with someone, usually in a casual or relaxed way. We're often hanging out with our friends, hanging out with our family, just spending some relaxed time together. So we have 3 parts of this. To hang out with someone. Now, the base of it is, do you want to hang out? Let's hang out. Oh, let's hang out with our friends. Do you want to hang out with me this weekend? Do you want to hang out with me this weekend? Hang out with me? Do you want to hang out with me this weekend? I love hanging out with my friends at the park. I love hanging out with my friends at the park. I love hanging out with my friends at the park.
Yeah, so when you're hanging out with your friends, you're not really doing anything. You might be, like Kat said, sitting in the park, just chatting. You could be watching TV. You could be sitting in a pub, a bar, a restaurant, or drinking tea somewhere. You're not doing anything. You're just spending time together, just hanging out. You can also say where you want to hang out. So Kat said, hang out at the park. We're going to hang out at my place or my house. We're just going to hang out at my place and watch a movie. One more example, if you want to invite a friend to spend time together, let's hang out sometime soon. It's been ages. It's been a long time. Let's hang out sometime soon. It's been ages. So the next phrasal verb is hit it off with someone. This is another phrasal verb with 3 parts. Hit it off. We always put it between the two. Hit it off. And with comes before the person. So I hit it off with her. I hit it off with him. You can also say we hit it off. We really hit it off. And when you hit it off with someone, this is a good thing. It means you quickly become friends. Maybe you meet them for the first time and they like the same things you do. Maybe you have the same sense of humor, you have the same hobbies, the same interests, and very quickly you like that person and you want to be friends with them. You start talking like you've known each other for a long time. We really hit it off. This is a great thing to happen at a new job, a new class, or anytime you meet someone new. Before you meet someone, you could say, I'm a bit worried I won't hit it off with my new roommate. I'm a bit worried I won't hit it off with my new roommate. In the past tense, hit, hit, hit. So they hit it off from the moment they met. They hit it off from the moment they met, so they became friends instantly.
We usually use this in the past tense because, oh, I don't know if I will hit it off. Oh man, we really hit it off. That means that we did in the past, right? So this can be used, you might have heard this in our dating vocabulary phrase as well, because you can hit it off with someone you're on a date with or hit it off with a new friend. Both are totally fine to use romantically or just with a friend. Yeah, I met her at the party and we hit it off right away. We got along. We, had the same humor. We liked the same things. We hit it off right away. We hit it off so well, it's like we've known each other forever. I like that feeling when you meet a new person and you think, wow, I feel like I know you already. We hit it off so well, it's like we've known each other forever. Kind of similar to hit it off, although I think hit it off would be that you get along very well right away. This sounds like you met, you became friends. Great. But when we talk about getting along with someone, you do have a friendly relationship with someone, but you might not be super close. Like kids, your kids get along. They just don't fight with each other. That doesn't mean they have to be best friends, right? So if you get along with someone, you do have a friendly relationship. There's nothing bad about your relationship. Yeah, I get along with my sister really well. I get along with my sister really well. Do you get along with your neighbors? Do you get along with your neighbors? Now, you don't have to be best friends with your neighbors, but, nothing bad is happening. You're not, mean to each other or rude in the elevator or anything. You get along. You get along just fine.
Yes, like Kat said, you don't have to be best friends, so you often hear this phrase used at work with your colleagues or workmates. It's important to get along with your colleagues. So while you are at the office, you don't fight or butt heads or argue, but at 5 p.m. when you finish, that's it. You probably don't talk to your colleagues until the next day. That's still okay. You get along with them, but you're not best buddies. So it's important to get along with your colleagues, or I get along with my colleagues just fine. In my case, this is true for me and my sister. We used to fight a lot, but now we get along great. We used to fight a lot when we were kids, but now we get along great. You can use an adverb after get along. Kat's example was get along well. You can say get along great as well, so you can make it stronger in that way. The next phrasal verb with friends is to catch up with a friend. Another one with 3 parts. Catch up with someone. So again, with comes before who. With them, with him, with her. Catch up with someone is to meet someone and talk to them, especially if you haven't seen them for a while. Maybe you were both very busy, maybe they went on holiday, maybe something's come up, or maybe they live in another part of the country or another city. So when you do meet, you get to tell them all the new and exciting things that have been happening with you. When you catch up with someone, you say what I've been doing, how my job's been going, how my hobbies have been going, how my family is, anything new that has happened since the last time you saw each other. When you share that, you catch up with them so they know all the updates in your life. You can invite someone to catch up and say, we need to catch up soon. I have so much to tell you. We need to catch up soon. I have so much to tell you. Or I haven't caught up with her in ages. I haven't caught up with her in ages. So I haven't seen her and I haven't shared what's new in my life.
So the base of this phrasal verb is to catch up, okay? A lot of these phrasal verbs, we can just use the base. We need to catch up. We need to get together. We need to hang out, okay? And then when you're going to add the person, that's when we use with, okay? So I could say something like, it was so nice catching up with you at the get-together. It was so nice catching up. It was so nice catching up with you. We also like to use the preposition over sometimes. So let's catch up over coffee. We like this we like this preposition a lot because we use the word over time, over the weekend, over lunch, over breakfast, over the time during breakfast, over the time during coffee. So let's catch up over coffee sometime. Let's catch up over lunch sometime. That means over the time during lunch, over the time for breakfast. Let's catch up. Let's catch up over breakfast sometime. Now, this phrasal verb, we sometimes use an extra word just to sound a little bit more casual. To check on someone, is to go and see if someone is okay. We can also use check up on someone. Okay. If you go to a checkup at the doctor will check your body to make sure that you're not sick or ill. So if you check up on someone, you're going to go and see if someone is okay. We also use check on someone. Check up on someone, check on someone. So I'm going to check up on my grandma later. I'm going to check up on my grandma later. I'm a little bit worried about grandma. Maybe she sounded a little sad or she needed some work done around the house. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to go see her and make sure she's okay. I'm going to check up on my grandma later. Things are a little quiet around the house. Can you check up on the kids, please? What are they doing? When it's too quiet in the house, can you check up on the kids, please? What are they doing? Let's go see what they're doing, right? It's too quiet in the house. Let's go check up on the kids.
It's suspicious silence. It's always a bad sign. Same with pets as well. Yeah. But yeah, like Kat said, if you are worried about a friend or you know that they've gone through a tough time, could be mentally, physically, maybe they just broke up with someone, then you can check up on them. It's even as simple as sending a text message and saying, hey, I just wanted to check up on you and see how you're doing. I just wanted to check up on you to see how you're doing. So yeah, sending them a message to say, how are you? Are you feeling okay? Just that is checking up on someone. One more example in the past tense, he checked up on me after I was sick. He checked up on me after I was sick. So he knew I was sick. I wasn't in a great place. So he checked up, and that made me feel better. It made me think that my friends care about me. So that feels nice. Okay, another emotional phrasal verb is to open up to someone. Open up is the main part. And when you're talking to another person and you talk to them about my feelings, that's when I open up to them. So maybe I share something quite personal or share something quite private, maybe a secret, or maybe some feelings that I have had and I can't tell my colleagues, I can't tell my family, I can only tell you. Maybe you give good advice, or maybe I trust you with things I don't share with other people. In that case, I open up to you. This is, private, personal information that I don't want everyone to know. But if you feel confident or safe talking to someone, you can open up to them. For example, she finally opened up to me about her problems. So problems, personal problems, financial problems, relationship problems, these can be quite personal and private. So she opened up to me about her problems. She trusts me with this info. And it's good to have someone you can open up to. It's good to have someone you can open up to, a close friend you can confide in and share these things and get them off your chest.
So I think sometimes some people have a hard time opening up. Maybe they are not used to sharing their feelings. Maybe they're not used to talking to their friends about certain things. Maybe they, just want to keep it light and fun. It's hard for me to open up to people when I first meet them. It's hard for me to open up to people when I first meet them. Now, that kind of makes sense. You might not trust someone you just met, and you don't want to tell them too much information about yourself right away. So it's hard for me to open up to people when I first meet them. I feel like I can open up to her about anything and she'll listen. Now, maybe I get to know you a little bit more. You might be a good listener. You might give good advice. So I feel comfortable. So I feel like I can open up to her about anything and she'll listen. No judgment, no, maybe sometimes I don't need advice. I don't need recommendations. I just need to talk to someone. I just need to open up. Now, I like this phrase too. This is, really a good part of friendship and building a deeper relationship. You can count on someone. I can count on you. You can count on me. This has to do with trust and being able to depend on someone. Okay. When we depend on someone, that means that we trust they will be there or they will help you in a time of need or a problem or a stressful moment, right? They won't just hide or run away or ignore what you're saying because it's difficult. You can count on them. I know I can always count on you. I know I can always count on you. When there's a problem, when I have an issue, you will be there for me. Okay? I know I can always count on you. Or it's the opposite. He's just not someone I can count on when things get tough. It stresses him out too much. So I'm having the problem. He's stressed out about my problem. I can't really count on him. He's just not someone I can count on when things get tough. It stresses him out too much.
Continuing on from that, if you can't count on someone, that's our start. Continue on from that, if you can't count on someone, they are not reliable, you might say, don't count on him to be on time. He's always late. So don't count on him to be on time. He's always late. So this person is quite unreliable. In a more positive way, though, he's always there when you need him. You can count on him. I would say we use this phrase for friendships, but if you know a reliable service or a reliable business, like if you have a mechanic who fixes your car quickly and honestly, you can count on them. Or if you have someone to repair something in your home, you can count on them. You can trust them. They'll do a good job. So friends and work, you might hear this phrasal verb. Okay, next phrasal verb about friendships. This is a sad one. You might drift apart. If you drift apart from a friend, I imagine like two boats on the water or like two leaves floating on the water, and naturally, slowly, they get further and further and further apart. And after a long enough time, you're friends, but you're not close anymore. You don't talk very often. Maybe you send each other a message a few times a month. Maybe you moved to different cities or moved to different parts of the world, and so you don't catch up, you can't meet up, you can't hang out as often as you used to, and slowly, over weeks and months, you drift apart from each other, or we drifted apart. So it's to slowly become less close to someone. Sometimes people just drift apart. It's natural. Sometimes people just drift apart. It's natural. Yeah, I'm not close friends with my classmates from school. We moved on. We live in different cities, different countries. We don't talk. We just drifted apart. Or there are people I was very close to 5 or 10 years ago, and now we don't really talk. We just drifted apart. It is slightly negative, but I'm not really sad about this. This doesn't make me upset or emotional to talk about. It just happens. They drifted apart over the years and eventually lost touch. So that's the past tense. They drifted apart over the years and eventually lost touch.
I mean, I kind of like this phrase simply because nothing really terrible happened. Just time, it was just time, right? So, I mean, we were best friends in high school, but we drifted apart after graduation. I mean, we were best friends in high school because we lived in the same town, we went to the same school, but we drifted apart after graduation. Maybe we went to different colleges. Maybe we moved to different cities. That's just natural. I mean, we still talk, but I feel like we drifted apart after she moved. This is a good answer to a question. Oh, are you still friends with that person? Oh, you were best friends. Are you still friends? I mean, we still talk, but I feel like we drifted apart after she moved. It happens. Nothing serious happened. Nothing crazy happened where you've stopped being friends, just time and space.
Yeah, I think that's a really good distinction because, yeah, you didn't have a fight or an argument that ended the friendship.
Mm.
That's the next phrasal verb, though. If you do have a serious argument with someone, so you stop talking to them, maybe you block them on social media, you fall out with someone. So again, the main phrasal verb part is fall out. We fell out. Did you fall out? And if you want to include the person, use with. So fall out with him, fall out with her. I fell out with Brian. And it's when you have a serious argument. You'd have a strong disagreement, and at the end of the argument, you do not see eye to eye. I'm not changing my mind, and you're not changing your mind. I guess that's it. This could be considered a little bit younger, maybe childish. Children on the playground will fight about, I don't know, what's in their lunchbox or their favorite Pokemon and fall out for a few days or a few hours and then be best friends again by the afternoon. If adults do it, it does feel a bit more serious. If you fall out with someone as an adult, I don't expect you to repair the relationship. That could be the end of it. My mum and my aunt, for example, they fell out over politics and they didn't talk to each other for like a few months. But because they're family, they are talking again. So for adults, it's quite serious. For children, it can be quite like a trivial argument. Some example sentences. I hope we don't fall out over this. I hope we don't fall out over this. So you can have a disagreement. You can have a discussion and have different views. That doesn't mean that you are going to fall out. The fall out part is where you stop talking to each other and it really hurts the friendship. So we can disagree with each other, and I hope we don't fall out over this, but I disagree. But I still want to be friends. In the past tense, it's fell, so they fell out and they haven't spoken since. They fell out and they haven't spoken since. So that's the end of that friendship. They fell out.
Now, I think this phrasal verb, we don't use it as the phrasal verb. We usually call it to have a falling out, or we had a falling out. So a falling out means that our friendship fell apart. Okay. So that friendship is no longer there anymore. I think what Mark is using in British English with they fell out, just even for a short period of time, we wouldn't call it that. If I said they had a falling out, they are not friends. It's not a temporary thing. I would say they didn't talk for a while if it's something temporary, but a falling out feels like that friendship is over. That friendship is over. So I had a falling out with my best friend last year. I had a falling out with my best friend last year. And again, we use phrasal verbs to soften this. I mean, I'm not friends with my best friend anymore. That's kind of serious. And yet we use this, we had a falling out. Maybe we had a big fight. Maybe we had a big argument, but maybe I don't want to share that about it. So yeah, I mean, we had a falling out last year. I had a falling out with my best friend last year. Now, here's another way that I would use it. I wouldn't invite both of them to the party. They had a bit of a falling out last year. They don't really talk anymore. Okay. So this is when, should I invite these two people to my party? I don't know. They had a bit of a falling out last year. They don't really talk anymore. Again, I'm softening this language. They are not friends. They do not talk. But that sounds kind of serious. So they had a bit of a falling out last year. They don't really talk anymore. They might hate each other, but I'm trying to be soft and make sure that people know that, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I don't want to gossip, but they had a bit of a falling out last year. Now, normally a falling out would be the end of that friendship, but if you are not talking, if you had an argument and right before you completely fall out, maybe you'd like to make up, okay? Maybe you'd like to make up with the person. Maybe you'd like to patch things up. Now, with the word make up with someone, we're not talking about putting on makeup. Now, I want to make that clear with some of our students. We do not make up our face. We put on makeup because when we use making up, we're talking about being nice to someone and kind of becoming friends again after an argument. All right. So this is where we use it more often. We had a fight, but we made up the next day. So we had a fight, but instead of having a falling out, we made up the next day. So we patched things up. We fixed the problem. We talked to each other. We communicated and we made up. So we're friends again. Don't worry, we're friends again. I'm trying to patch things up with her since we haven't spoken in a while. Maybe it was my fault. I broke this bond. I broke this friendship, right? I'm trying to patch things up. When we put a patch on something, it's like a hole is here and we want to cover it up. That's a patch. So if I'm trying to patch things up with her, maybe it was my fault. Maybe I'm trying to be the bigger person. I want to fix our friendship. So I'm going to patch things up with her.
Yes, like Kat said, it's when I want to apologize, when I want to say sorry. And maybe I feel, the most guilty. I want to patch things up. So I want to start talking again. Or maybe it's not nice to fall out with your friends. It's not nice to know that there's something bad between you and your friends. So you just want to get rid of that feeling and make up with them. You might say, it's time to make up and forget about the past.
Kiss and make up, okay?
Yeah, right. Kiss and make up. That's what we say to our cats. It's time to make up and forget about the past. So move on. Let's forget this falling out and start fresh. Another example, I hope we can patch things up soon. I hope we can patch things up soon. So I guess our last interaction was probably a fight. And we're not on speaking terms or we're not talking to each other, but I don't want that anymore. I want to be friends again. I hope we can patch things up soon.
Now, our last one is a really good one for a situation where you want to support your friend and you even want to defend them in case someone is saying something rude to them or saying something rude or impolite about them. So we call this standing up for someone. So you might be a very confident person and your friend is not so confident and someone is being mean to your friend. So you are going to stand up for them. Another one that we use is to stick up for someone. So STICK, stick up for someone, stand up for someone. This is when we defend or support someone. Maybe that person isn't even there and your friends are talking very badly about your friend and you say, hey, wait a second, don't talk about her like that. She's my friend. That's standing up for her. That's standing up for someone. That's sticking up for someone. So she stood up for us when someone was talking behind our backs. If someone is talking behind your back, they are gossiping and saying bad things about you, literally talking behind your back, not to your face, right? She stood up for us when someone was talking behind our backs. So she might have said, hey, I'm friends with them. You can't say things like that. That's not okay. So she stood up for us. Oh, thanks for sticking up for me. I was too nervous to say anything. Remember, sometimes you're the confident friend and your friend might be a little bit nervous or they don't know what to say. So this might be we're in the same room together. Hey, thanks for sticking up for me. I was too nervous to say anything.
Past tense, it's an irregular verb. So stand up becomes stood up. So he stood up for me when no one else would. So he stood up for me when no one else would. So he defended me or supported me. Stick is also irregular. So I stick up for my friend. I stuck up for you. Hey, I stuck up for you, and now you're gossiping about me? That's betrayal, backstab. If you stick up for someone, yeah, the preposition is for because you're doing it instead of them. You're doing it on their behalf. They can't do it themselves because they're not there or they're too nervous. So you do it for them instead of them. So I stuck up for you. You should remember that.
All right, so there you have it. Another amazing list of useful phrasal verbs and phrases that you can use the next time you're talking to your friends or about your friends and friendships in English. Which one was your favorite phrase from the video today? Were there any phrasal verbs that were new for you? Let us know in the comments below. We love reading and replying to your comments every single day, so get in touch with us.
Yes, please do. And if you really liked the video today, you can click like and subscribe as well. You'll get at least 2 new videos every single week from us. Like always, you can also get a PDF transcript of this episode and all our other episodes from YouTube if you become a High Level Listening member. The link on how to do that is in the description below.
Thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate it. We will see you next time for our next English video here on High Level Listening.